Good morning everyone. Our today's topic is chapter 5 of history, the revolt of 1857. So in this chapter we will read about that when does the revolt occur, the causes of the revolt, the outbreak of the revolt, the extent of the revolt, suppression, failure, nature and result of the revolt. Now the revolt of 1857 is termed as the first war of independence because in the first time in Indian history different segments of the Indian society stood up together against a common enemy who were the Britishers. The revolt of 1857 was the result of culmination of popular discontent and a clear aggression of resistance against the exploitation and oppressive policy of the Britishers. The Britishers are now exploiting and discriminating the country very much, so all the people stood together against them to throw the British rule out of the country. The British ruled around 100 years from 1757 to 1857, but now the masses are getting troubled with them, so they want to remove them, and a major revolt occurred to throw them out of the country. And also this revolt shook the foundation of the British rule because it had a vast participation of the peasants, craftsmen, soldiers, nobles and rulers. Now we will discuss it in detail that when does the revolt occur. In this revolt the people express their anger because now they are feeling that it is no longer possible to put up with the existing situation. So to get out this situation and to be successful, they want a revolt, they need a revolt which can mobilize the people and so that they can get out of this. Also, now what are the causes of the revolt? There are many causes like the social and religious cause, the economic causes, the political causes and many other. Now we will discuss each cause in detail. So the first is the social and religious cause. So the Britishers are now changing the rules of the society which are not looking good for the people. They are changing the religious sentiments and the beliefs of the people, which impart a major role in changing the atmosphere. So the first is fear regarding mass conversion to Christianity. The British policies are creating fear in people that their religion was in danger. Now what they started converting people to Christianity. They are offering them things if they convert their religion into Christianity. Second, laws that interfere with religion and customs of the people. They passes new act which change the customs of people, like the Hindu Law Act of 1850, in which the Hindus or any other religion which convert to another religion, they inherit their property of his father. So it will also leading to give up their one's religious faith. Next, responses to reforms. Now how they are changing the ancient law system of the religions, like now they are passing laws to stop the sati pratha. They are encouraging to marry the widows. So they're destroying the social customs and the traditional ways. By also the Hindus or the people of the country now feeling social breakout. The next one is the indignities hurled at the Indians. The Britishers are very ill treating the Indians, and the Englishmen could insult any Indian at any place and even kill Indians. Also, every native was supposed to salute all Englishmen in the streets. Next, apprehensions regarding English education. The Christian missionaries opened schools in India, but the local people are feared that the British objective was not so much of promotion of literature as science, as they are converting the Hindu people into Christian. Next, the economic causes. The British on the both hands are looting India in the wealth of India as well as the prosperity of the state. So they are charging high revenues to the farmers. Even if their crop was not there, they are taking taxes from them. The farmer has to take money from the money lender and have to give to the Britishers. Sometimes the farmer is not able to pay back the loan, so he had to give up upon his land and many other things. Also, the artisans and the craftsmen were ruined by the unfair competition by the machine made goods. The handicrafts industry was destroyed by the machine made goods made in England. Also, now there is no royal patronage. The craftsmen, the poets, the priests are not getting anything from the king or any royal society, any royalty. So they also destroyed. They also destroyed the life of many musicians and many priests and other people. Now the political causes. The political causes include the imperialist policy of the British. Now what the British are doing, this policy make the ground for uprising of 1857. The British administrator from Robert Clive to Dorothy are just want to increase the British territories. They are by using force or by treachery or intrigue without caring for the sentiments of Indian. They just want to increase the British territories with hook or crook. Next, Lord Dalhousie doctrine of lapse. What Lord Dalhousie do? If any of the king died without any real son heir, his property will be gone to the Britishers and no one can have any right of the property. By this, Lord Dalhousie annexed Satara, Nagpur, Jhansi, Sambalpur, Udaipur, Jaipur. Many of the small states were also become the British Empire with the help of the policy of doctrine of lapse. Next, abolition of pension and titles. What Lord Dalhousie do? He do that the titles and pensions of the rulers of Karnataka, Tanjore were abolished, and Nana Sahib, the adopted son of Bajirao too, who was the last Peshwa, also denied with the title. Their titles like Peshwa or any other titles, the titles were taken back from them and no pensions were given to them by the Britishers. So because of this, Nana Sahib became a sworn enemy of the Britishers and vowed to take revenge against the British with the help of two anti-British powers. Next is the annexation of Awadh to the British Empire. Now what Lord Dalhousie do? On February 13, 1856, on grounds of maladministration, that the Awadh king was not doing good administration, the territory was taken from Hind and Nawab Wajid Ali Shah was sent to Calcutta on an annual pension of rupees 12 lakh. So because of this, thousands of courtiers, nobles and officials were deprived of their jobs because all the things were taken by the Britishers. So all of them lost their job, and also the jagirs of about 21,000 talukdars were confiscated by the British. The British also take the jagirs of so much people. Next is the disrespect to the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah II. The Britishers' attitude toward the Mughal emperors were not good and disrespectful. During the governor generalship of Lord Hastings, the custom of presenting the gifts to the Mughal emperor was also stopped and his name was removed from the coins. The British were also making plans to remove him from his royal palace kingship. Now the immediate causes. What happens in 1856? A new type of rifle is called infield rifle was introduced in the army. Its cartridge has a greased cap which has to be bitten before loading. So the soldiers have to bite the cap before loading it into the gun. But a news spread that these are greased with the fats of cows and pigs. The Hindus worship the cow and they don't eat beef, while the Muslims consider pig as dirty. They don't eat pork. So now the British were now attempting to insult their religious sentiments. That proved the main and immediate cause of the revolt of 1857. Now the outbreak of the revolt, how the revolt was started. So the revolt was started at Barakpur on 29 March 1857 when a young soldier named Mangal Pandey attacked his officers after refusing that he will not use the Enfield pattern rifle, and he was executed by the British officials. What he do? He refused the orders of his officials. This created a spark in the other soldiers that they can defy the orders and face death rather than using the rifle. So on 9 May 1857, 85 soldiers of the cavalry at Meerut also refused the British officers, but at this they were imprisoned for 10 years. This incident sparked off a general mutiny at the sepoys in Meerut, And on 10 May, these rebel soldiers killed British officers and released their comrades. They captured the guns, ammunition, and set fire to the British buildings, and they raised their flag of revolt against the Britishers. And that was the beginning of the revolt of 1857. Now these soldiers set off for Delhi, and on their way they cut off all the telegraph wires. On 11 May, these sepoys from Meerut crossed the Yamuna river by boats and marched to Red Fort. Here they joined the local infantry, and they rebels they captured Delhi and declared Mughal ruler Bahadur Shah II or Bahadur Shah Zafar as the Emperor of India. After agreeing to the leader Bahadur Shah II write the letters to all chiefs of the rulers of the other country to come forward and organize a confederacy of Indian states to fight the British. So this is the spark ignited by Mangal Pandey in other soldiers, and it gives to the first fight of independence, the revolt of 1857. Now the extension of the revolt. The revolt from Meerut and Delhi spread to the other parts of country. It was particularly strong in the central and northern parts like Kanpur, Lucknow, Jhansi, Bareilly, Gwalior, Arra and Faizabad. So the revolt is spreading across the whole country and by the different leaders. In Kanpur, the revolt was led by Nana Sahib, who is adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao. He was assisted by Tantia Tope and Azimullah. In Bareilly, it was by Khan Bahadur Khan. In Arra, Kunwar Singh, an old man in his 70s, he was leading the revolt. In Jhansi, Rani Lakshmibai. In Delhi, Bakht Khan. In Lucknow, Begum Hazrat Mahal led the revolt. She was assisted by Maulvi Ahmadullah Shah. The Rajputana and the Deccan and the entire peninsula were unaffected by the revolt of 1857. In some places in the northern parts of India, there were no uprising occurred. So, and the civilians and the sepoys were joined, and now they are helping the sepoys and giving them food and shelter.